talk to the crowd. What's next?
Good night, quick venia. What Ingen said, East versus West, 15 November 2nd. It's not just me coming. I got the power of Christ behind me.
Michael Todd!
Everyone will move.
We're live, babe.
We're live, babe.
We are live. And how about starting off immediately with a super chat?
And a blessed super chat at that.
Let's read this.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, John Augustin. Thank you so much for the super chat. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hand for war and my fingers for battle. That was actually...
I actually have a shirt that says that.
Yeah, but wasn't that one of your daily, things that your sister sent you?
Yeah, years ago. Years ago, Harold Rodden started a thing like maybe in 2000.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it says, trains my hands for battle, my arms can bend a bow of bronze or something like that. I think that might be the scripture. But yeah, we had a Christian-based, team thing that we did years ago. Really cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your support. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you for that. Well, I want to tell everybody, welcome. This is a great time for you to send out some texts to some friends. Tell them to get on here. We're going to have a chat. We're going to talk about Michael's training, but we're also going to talk about, you kind of are targeted now. We'll get more into that.
I am. Yeah, a little bit.
We'll get more into that. We're going to talk about Michael's training. We're going to take some Q&As from you guys as well. Let's see who we got on here. Richard Jennings. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Yes, thank you so much, Richard. Hit that thumbs up. Share to your social media feeds. Be sure and join the chat. Waff Cake says, apparently he wants a Michael versus Jerry rematch.
I'm sure that could happen. Eventually.
I think Jerry is a little focused on something
yeah,
different.
he does have a big opportunity coming up for sure.
Yes, he does. And we've got, I'm not sure.
Yeah, mine are not updated.
Let's go, Michael. Geminis unite. Okay, let me tell you what. Let me tell you what. I am surrounded by Geminis. That's on Facebook, baby.
Okay, gotcha. No wonder.
I'm surrounded by Geminis. My daughter, my husband, our daughter, my husband, Flynn. No, he's not.
No,
he's November.
Adrian, Marin.
Adrian and Marin.
Right.
Yeah. So 2 of my 5 grandchildren, our daughter,
and me,
and my husband.
Right.
And I'm just going to tell you, everything they say is true. Totally true. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have also got Nino Press. Remember to drink your heavy whipping cream for muscle growth.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you posted that previously. How does that help?
I don't know.
No,
Maybe we should research that.
Need to look it up.
Need to have a look at that.
Need all the muscle growth I can get.
Yeah. Red Pill Preacher says, "How's it going, champ? Your friends from Virginia."
Man, things are good. So consistently, so I went back to pronation, back to 154, right? Went up to doubles, up to 65 and a quarter, and then started doing singles since then. And the numbers are starting to get, it's funny because my daily numbers are back to getting close to where my original PR, had I been perfect on the last prep. Remember I said my goal was 155. If I would have been perfect, it would have been 171 and a quarter. Ended up going to 79 and a quarter, so maybe it's 71.75. I don't remember exactly. But the numbers are getting really close to that already, and things are moving a lot easier than they did last time.
Awesome. So you finished in the doubles.
Yeah, finished the doubles.
Now you're on singles.
Yeah, I'm a little behind on posting some stuff. And YouTube's always behind some other platforms. But I'm going to keep posting, daily lifts and stuff. I've added, so that's the thing. So I always do my pronation lift, or have for the last 2 preps. And then my over the top knuckle riser. And then pronation gauge back pressure. Then cupping for the 50, the high volume cupping. Then I've recently started adding the static hold with the new hammer strength preach curl bench. And then as of 2 days ago, I started doing the sets of 10 with the Camille pressing movement. I finally got a thing to set up to do that. But yeah.
Dustin Hauser wants to know, do you look at your YouTube or Facebook first, or both? Okay, so we're on StreamYard, so we can see comments from both.
Yeah, on hers. I'm just watching on YouTube, so I've just pulled up my YouTube sheet. She's on StreamYard there. I just couldn't. I was going to be looking at the camera the whole time, not watching y'all, so I wanted to do this.
So Benji Mack, one of our moderators, is on. Thank you so much. Allison Wall is on.
What's up, girl?
Awesome. Oh, someone said Devin's in the top left. Oh, where is he?
Over there.
Oh, way over there.
Yeah. So then that was him versus Pushkar left-handed.
Yeah.
Me versus who was it? Tokarev right-handed. That was supposed to be because in January I had beaten Pushkar 6-0, and this was in June. Had a couple matches in between there, and then
Let's
match was
pause
supposed
that.
to be Arsen Liliev, and then Arsen backed out, so I pulled trigger.
Beat Pushkar 6-0
Right-handed.
right-handed. Devin beat Pushkar 6-0
5-1.
5-1
Left-handed.
left-handed.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
It was different. Like
Yeah.
his right was his left was good. I think he was overall number one in the world at the time left-handed because he got to win on Pushkar, you know. But Devin's accomplishment that day was very, very impressive because he got smashed round one. And the funny thing was, he went up to Devin and was like, "Hey, you want me to take it easy on you?" Like he actually said that to Devin, and Devin got in.
Oh, that got under skin. Yeah.
So he took that first round loss, but then once he put the brakes on him, he bled him bad and talked bad to him.
Dustin
He
Howler
did.
says that's a wicked poster.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to see what all else is back there. So.
That's me and Chafee, 503 for my third consecutive hammer.
Yeah.
And that's 406. That's me and Devin for the unification of the super heavyweight hammer.
Let's see if you can see that.
Yeah, heavyweight hammer, super heavyweight
Yeah.
hammer, whatever it was. Because he was a heavyweight champ from the year before. I was a super heavyweight champ, and they basically got rid of 225s.
So right over here in this vacant spot, you need to put up your East versus West 14.
Yeah, I mean, I just got to get another, whatchamacallit for it. Frame.
Okay. All right.
I still have that one.
Excellent.
Remember when I pulled Angerbayev and they made that cool, like, flaming looking thing? I printed that into a poster,
Yeah.
so that could go there. That's a badass one. Because the one from East vs. West 14, I can actually hang it out there because it's a tougher material, so I can magnetize it out there and put magnets on it and put it out on the steel out there. I like it out there, probably.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see.
Awesome. So how much did you pay Devin to gas you up so hard?
Yeah, so do we want to go ahead and get into that?
Go ahead. Talk about.
So, go ahead, talk.
I wonder if they know what. Oh, Phil Woody, thank you so much for the super sticker and for the support always. I just watched what you're working on. Good stuff. Dude.
I actually like that
You're
quite a bit.
doing really
Yeah,
good.
it looks really good. Really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, you're doing some really awesome stuff. I really like what you're doing. So you guys, the promo that you saw at the very beginning of this, I ran it at the very beginning, and Phil Woody did that as well. He's doing some good promo stuff for Michael. I like it a lot. I like to see that you two always look happy regardless of the consequences. Which consequences are we talking about?
Yeah. So we've been through, I don't know, life, when we're just normal people, life happens, life gets you down, things happen that challenge you. But, so yeah, we had a very interesting weekend, which we had someone speak to me, and I promise you that was directly from God. I mean,
it was very impressive.
I have never felt so much of a God-inspired.
Should we tell him?
About what?
You want me to tell him what happened?
Sure.
All right, so I actually have video of it that I'm going to release some parts of it to our members only section. And some parts of it will probably never be seen because it's just way too private. But Michael has managed to get into the hyperbaric chamber. For those of you who do not know, we've got a hyperbaric chamber that's great for recovery from Elevate
LA
Health.
Health, amazing people. Check them out.
Absolutely awesome. And he has been unable to get in since losing his mother. One of the weird things that happened to him is he actually developed pretty severe claustrophobia. So much so that we were almost unsure he'd be able to get on a plane because being on a plane was the first place that you wigged out.
Freaked
Right?
out.
Right,
I mean,
so-
traveled 500 times in my life. Flown maybe
Yeah.
1,000. I don't know. And the first flight after my mom passed, just a short trip to Vegas, I did panic and I almost had to get off the plane. And it's just because I felt so enclosed.
Yeah.
I've never had that in my life, And
So we had Ryan, a friend that Devin sent our way. Thank you so much. That came here, spent a day and a half with Michael, and Michael first got in it, just got to laying down, hadn't even got it zipped up, and he was out.
10 seconds.
10 seconds he was out. He's like, I can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. And Ryan started having a conversation with Michael. And I'm just going to tell you that conversation went deep, went really deep. And we were able to uncover the root cause of where this feeling and this inability to be in enclosed spaces was coming from. And from that discussion, Michael was able to get in, zip it up. The first day, I think it was a full minute. Second was 2
minutes.
Then you did 5.
Yeah.
As soon as we get up to 10, we can actually turn it on because it takes 5 minutes to.
It's actually harder to be in it with it not on because
It's hot.
It's what's hot and it's smaller.
Yeah.
Once it fills full of air, there's a lot more space in there, so you don't feel as enclosed.
Yeah.
But I haven't got to that point yet. But we're getting close.
So-
because once I get that, my recovery will be so much better. Like
Yeah.
the ability to hyperbaric chamber an hour a day, 5 days a week.
Oh yeah.
My God.
It helps with recovery of injuries, but also just overall brain health,
Right.
cardiovascular health. It's just really good stuff. So Michael needs to be able to do this.
Well, it's a blessing that we have it, so I have to be able to take advantage of it,
Yeah. So again, I'll be posting some portions of that for our members only. The portions that are not too private.
Right.
And then we'll get the rest of it out.
So on the topic of, I've been getting a lot of praise recently. And so I had called Devin to thank him for introducing me to Ryan. And we had a short conversation. And he was just like, dude, I stood him up. He said, you're going to do way more than that. And we were just talking because I was telling him training's going well.
Right.
What my projections will be if I'm perfect in this prep with my pronation goals, and they're big. Like if things continue to progress, my pronation that I will hit prior to Gennady will be wild. So that was it. We just had a good conversation. He's like, hey man, anything I did to help? Talked about him and Auden coming down. I mean, he's got a very busy schedule, but definitely wanting to get together and do some training and things like that. And then it wasn't 6, 7, 8 hours later. I glanced at my. Are we offline?
I hope not.
6 or 7 hours later, I glanced down. I was looking at some comments from the recent video we posted, and someone was like, "Hey, Devin just said he thinks you're going to beat Levon next year," and I was like, "What?" So I went and checked it out, and it was.
I think
that's not it, babe. That's not it.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah. So yeah, just hearing that type of perspective, and it just from the way he said it, sometimes you can just feel something coming, right? This
I know
comeback,
where I need to go. Hang on.
Go ahead, babe. Oh, this comeback, this journey, this opportunity that I'm being gifted with, blessed with, I will continue to refuse to take the credit for the win, for the victory, because all that credit's going to go to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because I know now that is my calling. I know that it took me, there's a lot I could go into. It took me a long time to even get close to the point where I understood why my mom was taken and I was left, right? As a boy, I'm from the South. We always hear about the rapture and, God's going to come back and take us. And since I was a kid, like every generation thinks it's going to happen in their generation, right? This is how it is down here in the South. So I just believed that I was just going to be raptured out. My mama never would be on earth without her. And then some of the conversation we had this past weekend was I had to be okay that, my mom was ready. She wasn't, her quality wasn't good. But I know that she's watching me and that God had a bigger plan, right? Mm-hmm. And the plan isn't for me to praise me. And yes, I keep all my trophies. Yes, I keep all my stuff. That is because this is a story. This tells a story. This gym is not about praising me or giving me glory. It's my life. It's what I've spent the last 34 years doing. I've got grandkids. I can look at every one of these trophies and tell you who I beat, what the weather's like, all that stuff. So it's just memories. It's my life's accomplishments, right? But it will be through, I'm the vessel that I feel like God is going to work through.
Don't hit this table.
That will bring a lot of people to Christ. People who may not be believers, may not, I don't know. It's just different, man. It's really different. So when even Devin saying sometimes you can just feel something, I don't just feel it. like I with 100% of my heart believe it. That
Yeah, but you were
path-
tested. You were tested.
Just like you're talking
So
about the
no, you're going on, and you
about
have
my faith.
been
Yeah.
about your faith, but your faith was tested, and we found out that perhaps that's what needed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm talking about is him getting into the hyperbaric chamber, and so you guys will see
We
exactly.
we actually had quite a few conversations that I caught myself saying the things that are
impossible.
opposite to what I believe.
Right.
I have never in my life thought anything was impossible. It may be unlikely, but it's not impossible. Right? My whole philosophy, the way I live life, was not impossible. It's just not likely. The numbers that this guy was throwing at me for potential lifts and PRs, I was like, that's not possible. You know what I'm saying? And I catch myself saying it several times. And his response to me was, listen, dude, what you're doing is you're showing the world what they think is impossible is actually possible. Now, what God is going to show you, what you think is impossible, is also possible. Very strong. Like I'm telling you, this conversation was very in-depth, but it gave me a new perspective on what I'm doing, like why I'm doing this. I don't know. It's a lot. That's not what we're supposed to talk about. But yeah, a lot of praise. Getting a lot of praise. Like, and even Hermes was on his.
Pause for just a second.
Go ahead.
Take a breath every now and then.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I dropped the link to your Facebook. I actually posted the clip of Devin talking about Michael. I dropped it on Facebook and on YouTube here in the comments, so you guys can check it out. Exactly what Devin said. Which someone was like, "So how much did you pay him?" We didn't even know that was coming.
Yeah, like I said, it was after our conversation.
Yep.
You know, we just had a conversation that was just very. This is where I'm at. This is where I think I'll be. He was of a similar mindset, and that was a very unsolicited video, which was very greatly appreciated. But I got to read this. XX Levon has something bunch of. If you beat Levon, I'm all in the global monster Michael mega church. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, as I said, I'm blessed to be given this opportunity. But it's no just guarantee that, like Rebecca's always said, that this is just an upward trajectory. Although I feel that it is. I feel deep in my heart that there will be no setbacks. There will be training, then break, then competition, then training, then break, then competition. I don't know how many of those training and breaks and competition I have before I get the shot. I just know I've got to do my work. And that's the only responsibility I have, is to do the things that are necessary, and then everything else will be taken care of. So
You have to do the work, and you have to trust that the plan is
what I see.
But what I'm trying to say is, what I've been trying to convey is just, in my opinion, and in my faith and my belief, it depends on what lesson you're needing to learn.
Exactly. Like, I mean,
At the time, you know. So
well, here's what I think. I don't know where you're going with that. Here's what I think. If I get prideful at all during this journey, like start taking away, or I don't know, just to the point where it's more about me than it is about turning people to Christ and showing what's possible through Christ, I think it could be taken. I think it could be taken, and I then need another lesson. You know, I think I've had all the lessons. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you had to learn a lot.
There's been a whole bunch of lessons.
You had to learn a lot.
So,
you had some ego issues.
Well, I mean, not at all.
Michael Todd.
But the
Few
point
things
is,
that you needed to learn.
The point is, I just think that there's just, I don't know, something different coming. But yeah, the point of this thing is the predator become the prey. So there is I am now, because of the praise that I'm getting and the credit and the hype and the potential, there's a bullseye on me, don't you think?
Well, I do think. Okay, so if you look at my thumbnail, did you guys like that thumbnail? If you look at my thumbnail, I don't know if you saw it, Michael. Let's have a look at the picture. I've got you looking in the distance.
And Gennady looking directly at me.
And Gennady is looking at you.
Yeah, so I'm not looking past Gennady, and that's what that thumbnail is.
That's not what the thumbnail's saying. It's just saying that your goal, your target, your focus is farther out. Gennady is your next lesson. Gennady's the next opponent that's going to teach you something, where your holes are that you need to shore up before you face a big Goliath of a
listen, you
Georgia.
got to be.
Yeah.
You cannot have weaknesses if you're trying to beat Levon. Like if you're trying to beat Levon and have a legitimate shot at beating him, you have to be complete, right? So, like Rebecca said previously, every competition, every match shows me something else that I have to work on, right? So that when I finally do get the chance, I've had enough of these lessons that I've learned where the holes are, where the improvement needs to be done, and then I'm in the match, you know. Oh, it's exciting. Ron Burgundy, hey Mark, have you seen the new East versus West hoodies dropping? Yeah, Rebecca
Love
loves
them.
I think they're awesome too, but Rebecca's like,
What
check
one?
this out. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I want to know is, will I, like if I order it as soon as they're out, will I receive it before going there, or should I just
Pick it up there.
pick it up there?
Well,
Because I want it
yeah. What
for
are we?
there.
What are we? 8 weeks out this weekend?
Yeah, so
Holy shit, we're 8 weeks out.
like
this
will they
weekend?
have it in their merch store there that they're selling, because then I could just grab one there.
Right.
But if it gets to me before, I can go ahead and have it printed on the back with Business
Right.
Monster at the bottom.
Right.
You know? That's what I want. That's what I want.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
like the merch. It looks good.
So Lloyd says Mike's ego is what kept him great for so long. I don't know that that's actually true, because when I can only go as far back as 2011,
Right.
and I wouldn't say it was your ego at that time that kept you on top. What kept you on top was your unwillingness to lose. Your
My disgust for losing.
willingness to stop. And I never heard you. This is about to get deep, y'all. And he's probably gonna be like, "Hey, turn off the camera." But here it comes. I never heard you in any of those matches ever walk away blaming. Which, by the way, a certain Golden Dragon has been doing here recently. Not a good look, fella. And you're gonna have to learn the same lesson that Michael has learned. I've never heard you walk away from a match during that time blaming anything on a referee, blaming anything on your opponent. Now, of course, yes, you were winning, but you would come back and you would think of things that you needed to get stronger on. When things started going south, I started hearing something way different. Your disgust for losing was no longer what was driving you. What was driving you became proving yourself in some way, in a way that people would stop hating on you.
There was a lot of that.
And so through that, every time you came away from a match, I heard you blaming something else rather than you just needed to be stronger. And so my question is this. When you just broke down your Gennady match, which, by the way, that was great. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. Did you see, while you were going through that process, did you see anything that you didn't realize from your memory of the match?
I guess I didn't realize I never tried to climb once, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. So, because you just came through thinking, well, it's because I stopped training, I wasn't strong enough. When actually you were making very basic arm wrestling errors.
Right.
So I think that was huge. You've been able to look at it from that standpoint. And that's the same way that he was when he came back from Frank. He did not blame anybody other than him abandoning his plan. He didn't pull, like he said from the video, you pulled like an idiot. He arm wrestled like an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't do anything that he was supposed to.
Nothing that I had trained to do for sure.
Right, right. So
I let the emotions take over. It was such a big moment for me at the time that I just completely abandoned my game plan.
yeah, but there again, even though you abandoned your game plan, you got exactly what you needed out of that match.
I needed to prove that I could win a dog fight. Like I still had it in me to fight like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I didn't get the victory I wanted, but I got the victory I needed.
Yep.
I gotta use the restroom. Keep talking.
Uh-oh. Well, let me read just a few comments. Nino Press says, I don't know if you've noticed it, but your personality, Michael, is different from the others. Arm wrestling is like God has taken over you and your soul. Michael is different, but aren't we all when we have gone through something that this is what I want people to understand that they're not getting, because I read some of the comments and they're like, people are just waiting in the wings for Michael to reappear, old Michael, tantrums and stuff. And when someone goes through something that absolutely pulls them all the way down to, you've heard it, rock bottom, that's where he was, they're either going to be transformed or it's going to be over. And for a while there, it felt like it was going to be over. And when I say it, I'm not talking about arm wrestling. You guys, we went through something that arm wrestling was not even on the radar of being important. Okay? So I felt like our lives were going to be over. Because that's where Michael was. And so you're either going to be transformed or it's going to be over. He went through it, and through the help of so many people, and he will tell you it's because God put them in our life, so many people that showed up for him in ways that we couldn't have imagined. I mean, you've got ketamine, you've got hormone therapy, you've got friends that would come over here and just play ping pong with him. You know, you've got so many things that had to happen in the right time. And from that, you have a transformed Michael. So, now, is he just completely different? No, of course, he's still got some of his assholisms. But they're necessary. Every testosterone-ridden, alpha competitive male is going to have those. But there are some things that are very, very different. And you guys are witnessing some of it because he is handling himself differently. Things that used to would have sent you into orbit, they don't even cause him concern anymore,
Yeah, I see a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of that. So it's very different. And yes, the heart is still there, but a lot of the pressure is off of you too.
I don't feel the pressure because I feel like I'm on a mission that is not for me, right? I feel like I said all I have to do is do the work, and if I do the work, everything is going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. So I don't feel the pressure now. Like I said previously a couple of times, there's like a 12-hour period before Camille that I started feeling a little bit of pressure, but then I just kind of continue to put my faith in God and just do what I know to do, right? So, yeah, I don't know. It's, like I said, it's a different time for sure.
So Al Sims wants to know, what could Gennady have been doing that may have prevented you from climbing? Is that what was happening?
Like I said, I watched it and I never even tried to open my hand once. There was enough room for me to climb. I just didn't. I think I fell into the trap when I pulled Devin in 2018. I kept him from climbing.
You just clamped.
Yeah, and I didn't have that clamping string, and he just walked through my hand.
Because of the nerve damage. Couldn't.
I probably had because nerve damage was after that. You're right. That could have had something to do with it. I don't know exactly. I never tried to figure that part out. I just saw the mistake that I made.
Yeah.
But I did do that once in 2018 with Devin, and that's shutting down.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch the 406 match, round one, Devin opens his hands 3 times to try to climb, and he never can because I did all my training with that 3-inch Raptor handle, and I just clamped my hand and just pronated and pulled back, and it forced him to compromise his wrist, right? That was his only lane, was to go bent wrist on me. I didn't have the same hand strength, and I guess it could have been from the nerve damage or my lackadaisical approach in training by just doing maintenance weights. Who knows? I mean, there was a lot of things, but everything happens the way it happens. So all the things that's happened, everything that's happened, the arm, mom, the losses, the nerve damage, everything, I guess was so I could hit essentially the bottom, right? Well, the bottom was mom. Worst thing in my life, right? So.
But everything else was a culmination into that.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of things that happened after we turned my bicep, even financially and stuff like that, that put me in a place where things were dark. but then I hit the bottom. That's why, I've been wanting. I had a tattoo design to cover this up. That was awesome. Like it says monster and skull.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Well, no, we didn't finish yet. That's what I was going to talk about. It's an awesome tattoo. But now I think I want something with like a phoenix rising out of the ashes or something. Because I do think this is a rebirth.
It is a rebirth.
You know?
For sure, a rebirth. Isaiah the prophet, thank you so much for the super chat. Pure inspiration. Keep spreading the word, champ. All glory be to Christ.
Amen, brother.
Thank you so much for that super chat. And Alexander Clark, Mike, seeing Devin lose twice to Levon, does that give you motivation to potentially be the guy to do it? If Devin was heavier, would that have helped?
I don't know. Devin said he was the strongest he was going into that. He had the heaviest pronation lifts with all of his arm wrestling specifics, were the strongest he'd ever been. So here's the deal. I want people to understand. I don't care about being the guy that does it because it's not for me. Like, if I felt like someone else had this calling and it was on them to do it, it's just I don't want people to think, oh, Michael Todd did this, Michael Todd did this. The only thing that's amazing about me is that God gifted me with the ability to fight, and endure and work. Like I'm an extremely lazy individual who's horizontal like 12 to 18 hours a day, but when I work hard. Like I do have an ability to train and push myself harder than most, right? But that's not anything that I did. I feel like that's just something, that's one of the gifts that God blessed me with, right? So as much as I appreciate it, and even Ryan Bowen called me the other day and just started complimenting me. And I was like, hey man, I appreciate the compliments and I really appreciate your perspective, but listen, I'm nothing without God, right? This really journey is not about me. I appreciate everyone who's supporting me. I appreciate everyone who's predicted me to be the guy and all that. That's amazing. And I'm thankful for it and blessed that I'm getting the support. But just when you see me do something that seems impossible, just know that it's not me, it's God working through me,
So, farmhand, when do you want to get beat at ping pong? LOL. Farmhand is
whenever you're capable of doing it.
Was one of the really good friends that showed up for Michael right in the nick of time, right? And let's see, Phil Woody, thank you both for sharing this journey. I wish you both continued strength every day. Nothing but love, admiration, and belief in Team Monster. The reckoning is here. Let's go, big dog. Thank you so much. Buddy Hale, Miss Rebecca, Michael, everyone, now go climb that mountain. Thank you so much. And Phil Woody gifting someone else with another membership. You're awesome, Phil. Always doing that. Eric Harlan, if MMT beats Gennady, I will be shocked because he beat Devin. Math-wise, and you know it, MMT, tall order.
Hey, listen, I'm up for the challenge. I'm excited about it. I asked for it. So many of these things were revealed to me during ketamine.
Yeah.
I mean, and these are not the exact opponents.
No.
Because, the pecking order sometimes changes, right?
Right.
But this wasn't even my plan.
No.
Like, I didn't have this.
No.
This was revealed to me during ketamine when I was completely out of it. Like, completely out of it. You were there. What state was I in when I'm sitting there saying this 6 different times during the treatment?
What state were you in?
Yeah, like, was I lucid
clearly.
or was I out and this was happening while I was under? Because I wasn't asleep, obviously.
You weren't. I mean, clearly you were capable of thinking, right?
Right.
But I wouldn't say that you were. I don't know what to say, Michael.
Yeah. Oh, so this is
okay. So I want to show you guys something. All right. So
one more conversation we had.
So this is part of the conversation, right? Now, what you guys? How many of you? Wait. I got 2 questions here. Drop down in the comments if who you think. Michael is going to be reviewing other Gennady matches. Now, let's go through these. So there was Gennady versus Dave. Dave won the first 2 rounds, and then he lost the next 3.
Right.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Then there was Gennady versus Jerry. And
Jerry won 3 or 2.
Jerry won 3 to 2.
Yeah, I don't remember how it went. Well,
There was Gennady versus Hermes.
Gennady versus Devin would be the next one in line.
Gennady
The first
versus-
one was Hermes versus Gennady.
Okay, Hermes versus Gennady.
Yeah.
And Hermes beat Gennady
3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
And then Gennady beat Devin
3-2.
3-2. Okay.
So I will be reviewing all those matches in
Yes.
upcoming videos.
So should you go in order of who he beat first and then who beat him? Or you guys drop down in the comments and tell me which one Michael should review next. Should he review Devin, Hermes, Jerry, or Dave next? Okay?
Yeah, and the thing is, the one that you want to watch them all, like what mistakes he's made, this and this. But the Hermes match kind of gave me false belief because Hermes took his wrist so easily. So I thought I'd take his wrist as easily, but like I said,
What made you think that?
because my pronation prior to the nerve damage was like I cracked everyone's wrist.
But didn't that have something to do with cup as well? Oh, but you cracked everyone's wrist because you were able to get a tight strap.
Yeah, can't get a tight strap. So I'm trying to work on not pulling with a tight strap anymore. You know, if
Right.
I get one, great, but if I don't, I need to be able to know how to arm wrestle a tight strap.
Right. So
Which is
if,
a completely different approach for me.
so if you don't have a tight strap, then it is going to rely on cup.
Yeah, more so.
Okay. So Hermes gave you false hope.
Yeah.
The Devin match is the most powerful Gennady for sure. Lloyd says do it in chronological. Devin, Gennady versus Devin is the best. Well, if it's the best, should we wait till the last one?
Which one did Devin and Gennady, is that what you said?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Should we wait to the end for Gennady versus Devin? And stylistically, it's closest to you. True. You and Devin probably arm wrestle more similar, have more similar tools than... You definitely don't...
He has way more supination than I do.
Yes.
Because I can't fully...
Because he can...
Yeah, I mean, this is it still. Like,
Even if someone turns with you...
I mean, I can force it to heat like this, but if I put resistance on it, I mean, this is it without me.
Hold it down towards the camera. Listen, let's see. All right. So...
That's what I'm dealing with.
Okay. So that one's the one that I think is the closest to you. This will be a tough match for Gennady coming off of an injury. You got to remember, though, Anthony Sloan. Oh, sorry, jumped up. You got to remember, though, that Gennady...
Has the league world-class arm wrestlers to train with. You know, like...
all the time.
He can pull with the
and people are
strongest
like, but they don't all train together. Actually, they do.
Well, they don't all train together, but they get together more frequently than the U.S.'s top guys get together.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like, when you have that level of person to go find out where you're at,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he's going to do that or has done that prior
Yeah.
to this match so that he knows, okay, I'm ready, right?
Yeah. And his team isn't going to let him show up and pull before he's ready.
You wouldn't think so.
You know, the Georgian team takes it very personally if one of their competitors does not.
And the thing is, we love the Georgians.
Dude,
We
oh, I
love
love them all.
Rivas.
They're so
All of them.
awesome.
They're all such great guys. I love my fellow arm wrestlers. And we're huge Levon fans, you know?
Yeah.
It's just he's the top of the mountain, right? That's the goal. And the whole purpose of this, and each win, obviously each win, the belief and confidence of the people who follow arm wrestling will go up, thinking that my chances against Levon are greater, right?
And there's going to be that certain faction, though, that are still going to continue to downgrade you.
And I don't care. That's like I said, it's not about me. I'm just saying the fact that it comes down to the fact that the reason Levon is a target, he's the number one guy in the world, but he is also what the masses think is impossible to defeat. That's trying to prove the impossible is what this whole thing is for me. You know?
Yeah, and I'm not going to show the other thing that I was thinking about. I'll stick that in
That's
for the
powerful.
members only.
That's powerful.
Yeah, I'll stick that into the members only because I couldn't believe it when he's.
I was shocked because I mean it wasn't even part. Like I said, it wasn't even part of the thing, but it was a depiction that has all. I mean, how long is that?
Michael
how
says
long is that?
part of the thing. He's talking about part of what
The
his
ketamine.
plan was under ketamine, right? Anthony going straight to one best in world first match is still not good matchup on his part. Anthony Sloan.
What's he saying?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's a matchup on your part. He's probably talking to someone else in the chat. I actually think Gennady needs a warm-up before Michael. I don't know if he's ready for Mike's first match back. Okay, guys, again,
I am not thinking about him coming off an injury. I'm thinking this is the strongest Gennady ever. No. You know what I'm saying? That's who I expect to arm wrestle.
Everybody's assuming that what we see is all of what he's doing. He could be having super matches every week that just are not aired among people in Georgia.
That are up.
We have no idea. We have no idea, what's going on. So Michael has to be ready, right? Did you guys in the chat see Gennady's new leg wrestling video?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. He was talking to the folks in the chat. Yeah, we saw that. Lloyd says, exactly what I was saying a few weeks ago about the high-level sparring partners. Corey is great, but they have multiple guys. It's different. I think Devin and his boy combined with Corey would help a lot.
It would. So that's the thing. Is that what I need before Gennady, or is that what I need before Levon, right? Like
somewhere along the road.
Here's the thing. I would love for them to come after King of the Table, between King of the Table and East versus West. But honestly, I don't want anything that interrupts my programming, right? Like I don't want to have something, multiple days of back-to-back arm wrestling, and then where I have to take days off and I can't hit my lifts because I know how to arm wrestle, and I'm strengthening the areas I believe that need to be strengthening. I'm actually setting up a separate pulley on my back pressure pulley this Saturday, so I can not only train back pressure but side pressure at the same time, so they have more center of the table set up, center of the table, everything just set. Obviously, I'm doing the shoulder pressing side pressure, but I need this side pressure while I'm doing this as well, so everything's solid right here,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm setting that up this weekend. This is what I was going to talk about here.
What's
this
that?
guy says, real, I don't know how to say it, SEKKCZ. Hermes was on the podcast with Ingen, and Ingen said, what do you think about Michael Todd? He's like, he's very strong, maybe the strongest he's ever been in his career. Muscle, quality, size, lifts, all that stuff. And it came down to he would like to arm wrestle the winner of me and Gennady. He said potentially January. What I had planned on doing is East versus West on November 2nd, and if King of the Table is in the United States, December 14th. It would be irresponsible for me to do both those matches, then pull Hermes 6 weeks later. You know what I'm saying? Like, or even 5 weeks, something like that. So,
well, it takes a big chunk out of training camp.
Well, 100. I mean, there's no time to get stronger between November, December, and then December, January. So I'd have to hope that my level going into Gennady is strong enough for my next two opponents, right? So we'll just see how things play out. I don't want to miss out on the King of the Table in North America. If it's in the United States, I don't want to miss that. But that is a good opportunity. I mean, if I was to beat Gennady,
and it cannot be the week of
January 11th, right?
Cannot be.
We have a wedding, and I have a daughter walk down the aisle. But the fact is, beating Gennady and then beating Hermes gets me the shot at Levon. I don't have to think any further than that, honestly. But we'll just see what God's plans are. I'm not going to rush anything. I know right now all I see is Gennady. All I see is Gennady. I know what the bigger plan is, the bigger goal, but right now the focus 100% on Gennady. So here's one. I don't know what you're going here. I am 300, dressed like this, 300 pounds. I normally go to bed, similar clothing, 302, 303. So that probably puts me 88, 98, 99 stripped at night, like before I went to bed. If this is my evening weight, morning weight's probably 5-6 pounds lighter. What do you guys think I will weigh in at weigh-ins versus Gennady? Because this is not my, like I'm how many, am I 8 weeks or 9 weeks out? I gotta look. I think I'm 8 weeks out. I think she's getting close.
I think you're going to be
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm 8 weeks out. So 8 weeks.
Because you weigh in the evenings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to weigh in.
I'm gonna stand on the scale.
Well, okay. Well, you stand on the scale. I think you're going to be 308.
It could, yeah, maybe.
How many kilos is that?
140.
140 kilos. Huh.
Let me see.
What do y'all think?
That's the question. Tell me what y'all think. If I'm 300 at night now, or right now, we're going to weigh in at probably 7. So that puts me, let's say 302 currently. 301, 302. What do you think?
Logan Austin says 317. Chuck Nasty Sports says 313.
Well,
The Real Sex says 305. Buddy Hale 318. Jeremy Parker 318. Y'all. Can we replay what Pushkar said?
do you think I'm fat now?
No.
And when I pulled
297 is what Collier's says.
I pulled
311
push
mark.
car. I weighed in.
Phil
for
Woody
the
says
Zloty.
310.
Weighed in Zloty at 311 point something.
Donald Ray says same as last time.
And he said, "Why are you so fat?"
He did. Why you so fat?
Yeah, but now I did try to bulk up eating one or two large pizzas a day plus all my other food. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Rebecca was cutting to 125, so I was going out in the car and eating pizza in the car, or I'd go get a pizza, eat it in the car, and then come throw the box away before I came in, so she'd have to smell it. Yeah, 310 puts me at 140.6. 315 is 142.8.
Well, let's tell him what you're eating first, because y'all, he's not eating to just become fat. He's eating chicken and rice most
Or
days.
chicken and pasta.
Or chicken and pasta. He's eating, your shakes.
Yeah.
And then I make him turkey deli sandwiches every now and
With
then.
the sourdough bread.
With the sourdough bread. And then
Sourdough pancakes or sourdough French toast with a shake and
Right, but those are
homemade Greek yogurt.
that sounds like a lot. My sourdough pancakes are almost fat-free. And they're low sugar as well. So they're healthy protein pancakes with protein yogurt on them. Now, once a week, we do have one unlimited meal, which we haven't been able to eat much of here lately.
Yeah, my cheat meals have not been heavy. Like, I mean, I think my my intake will go up. I think my intake will go up. I mean, I don't know. As long as the thing is, it's never about weight. Like this whole thing.
Donald Ray says tuna and rice with some butter is amazing. Yeah. I'm not a fish
I like
person.
the chicken and rice pretty good.
Yeah.
The thing about it right now is
And chicken breast is what he's eating. He's not eating dark meat. Yeah.
is
I
it's
gotta
just
keep my
it's
man
just
healthy.
about food for fuel, for recovery. The extra calories are for food and recovery.
Mm-hmm.
If that correlates to weight gain, whatever, right? I gotta use the rest of again.
What is your goal weight for Levon?
Okay, you tell me what you think.
Well, he said something today.
Yeah, I'm just telling.
Today, when we were with his sister, that absolutely shocked me. I think he said 330. I think he said between 330 and 345. Is that what you said? I think that's what he said. And here's my deal, guys. Okay, so he is bulking, not bulking. Because when I say bulking, I think about people eating a bunch of crap. He's literally just putting on weight. I think it's from the creatine. He hasn't taken creatine, so it's that. But also he's taking in more calories. Because everything else is the same. Before you guys jump up and you're like, oh no, it's this. That's all the same. All right? So my problem is, if you are taking in all these calories and other things to add muscle, you cannot forget that the heart is a muscle and you don't want it to get bigger. It's not good when it gets bigger. So I'm team, how about Michael doesn't drop dead from a heart attack? That's my team.
So what got you into that?
About what, when you said you thought your weight would be like 330 to 345 or some dumb crap
I asked
like
her
that.
the other night, I said, what weight is too heavy as long as I'm still healthy? She said, well, there's nothing too heavy as long as you're still healthy and you don't get fat. Now, I don't think she cares so much if I get fat. I think she cares because I hate being fat, right? Like, I struggle with my body comp as it is.
So Apollo Zid wants to know if you eat from my garden. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
I'm making healthy spaghetti sauce tomorrow that will be what he'll have over whole wheat pasta. We do that once a week, and that's from my garden tomatoes and basil. Yeah, I will gain more water weight from creatine. I think that's what I really think that's
honestly,
what it is.
so I think I've had it. So here's the deal. I came home and I thought I would drop 10, 15 pounds after East versus West. Obviously, we had the cruise. But then I came home and I was heavy. Then I dropped like 4 or 5 days in a row. I dropped 3 or 4 days in a row. I dropped weight.
Really?
And then it's just like the weight came right back on. And so I am actually heavier now. So I weighed in to pull Camille at 294 in the late afternoon, early evening. But I had jeans on, boots on, because I was going to, so I guess it suppressed the VIP thing. So it's like 7 p.m. So it's 7 p.m. at night, and I had jeans on, boots, everything. So I probably had 7 pounds in clothes. So that puts me at 287 in the evening. At 7. So here I am. I mean, even right now, I'm probably stripped 296, 297. So I'm already 9 or 10 pounds bigger now than I was when I pulled Camille. So I don't know where the weight's going to end up. It was crazy when I was talking to someone, and the guy's like, I think you'll be 350. I'm like, what in the hell? Like, I'm already having to go shop for new clothes. Like, because think about it, I was just pulling 253s. I mean, I was walking at 268, cutting 253s. What, 2 months ago? Was it 2 months? What's September, July? Yeah, so it was July when I found out. I was pulling supers. So, yeah, I mean, 2 months ago, I was cutting to 253s. So imagine those clothes compared to 300-pound guy clothes. Then imagine those clothes compared to 325-pound clothes. And imagine those clothes compared to 350. Like, I'm going to have to buy a whole new wardrobe. I mean, I don't think I'm going to get that big because although I have an ability to eat a lot of food, I've always been that guy, my appetite is not huge right now. Like, it's weird. Like, I will eat. I mean, I went and ate sushi. We have a couple sushi days. I've had, 60, 70 pieces of sushi. But the rest of the day, I may not eat that much. I may have a couple of meals that are high protein, like 1,200 calorie meals or something. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know what I'll weigh. I just know that I'm giving myself every opportunity to be as strong as I possibly can over the next 9 to 12 months. Like I said, I think I've said previously in a video, I think I could be ready and have everything I need for a match in 6 months. But I would prefer to not take it for at least 9 or even 12, right? I mean, if a match opportunity comes up, what's September? So 9 months would be, what, June? So next June would be, I'd be willing to do that, like, or maybe May. But in a perfect world, I just want to make sure I'm ready, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to rush anything.
So when I made this thumbnail and the title, this seat goes way too far back. Y'all, okay, so
I think you're in mine.
look, if I'm trying to sit all the way back
You're in
it,
mine. That was mine, because mine's reclined.
but look, my legs don't even go to the end.
This one's higher. Look at the headrest. This is your chair.
Nuh-uh, this.
Whatever. Go ahead.
All right. Anyhow, so I was meaning for you to discuss. I'll read this
Just now, or
really quick. That Bob guy, thank you so much for the super chat. When you reach the weight you want, will you trim down?
There will be no trimming down until after the goal is accomplished.
Not comedy comeback. Looking pretty healthy, big man. Paul Hicks, thinking about you. Want to talk to you. Need to check on you, man. Okay.
Thanks for support, that Bob guy.
Thank you so much for the support. So when I made this, I wanted to ask you and you to discuss. All right. Clearly, you are focused on Gennady because that is your next test. Like I said, your next lesson, right? But you are focused further down the line because all of these are steps getting you where you want to go,
right,
where you feel like you're meaning to go. Do you think it puts you at a disadvantage that Gennady is probably just focused right here? If his sole focus is you, and your focus maybe split, does that put you at a disadvantage?
I think not. And I'll tell you, if it was just me, it all comes back to my faith.
Yeah.
I mean, I've set up my programming. I'm doing all the workouts I'm supposed to do. If all the work ends in the finish line of where my programming is, I'm strong enough to win the match. You know what I mean? I'm strong enough to win the match.
Are you working this?
I just told you I'm setting that up Saturday.
You told me or you told them?
Just everyone. Just
Okay.
minutes ago. I'm setting a new pull you.
But you have started working on something.
The shoulder press. I finally found it. So funny thing was I tried to hook up a functional trainer with 2 cable stacks together and thought, okay, I'll be pulling both cable stacks. it ended up being easier to pull one stack than it was two, because somehow the balance of each weight stack was balancing out the other one, and you just pull from the center. It was weird. So then Corey's like, hey, why don't you just hook it up to your cable, your lat pull down machine, because it's 1-to-1 weight, right? But it has a 1-inch thick rubber thing instead of a cable. So if you move it all outside the lane, it drags. But it's working. It's efficient right now for what I'm needing it for. But I'm going to set up the side pressure with my back pressure on the same table so that I can actually do both.
I like this point from Lloyd. One thing on the focus thing as well. Patrick Mahomes and Lamar aren't thinking about tonight only. They are thinking about getting to the Super Bowl at the end goal. That's right. So you have to have both short-term and long-term. Everybody knows that. You got to have short-term goals and long-term goals. So while your focus is always on the long-term goal, you have to meet those short-term goals on the way.
Right.
Right. Thank
Well,
you.
this I still have
That
to.
was
I have
good,
to. I still
Lloyd.
have
Thank
to.
you.
The only thing is, I don't have the right to face LeVon yet. So that's if it was just, oh, I'm gonna pull LeVon, I wouldn't have to pull anybody. I could just train the whole time. But I have to prove. I have to earn the right. So I have to beat the guys in line.
Not only do you have to earn the right, again, it goes back to those lessons that you have to learn
Right.
so you can face him.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to your sister Misty from Prime Time. Thank you so much.
What is SNUS? Have you ever tried SNUS before? Apollo's
Oops.
did.
SNUS? I don't know. Google it, Michael Todd. Let's see. Basket anchor can end up putting 130, 165, 200% load force on both anchor points if the angle is too shallow. Need to really stretch it out and give it an acute angle so it can be like maybe 60%, 60%? What? Do you
Some
understand?
sort of smokeless tobacco. I wouldn't. I
Oh.
mean, it'd have to give me some really good benefits for me to justify that. All right.
All right, so what is that? Did you read that? Basket anchor can end up putting 130, 165, 200% load force on both anchor points if the angle is too shallow. Need to really stretch it out and give it an angle, acute angle, so it can be at like maybe 60, 60.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
I don't understand what that
I don't
means.
either. So I've just moved it to one thing. I got the other pulley coming.
Okay.
It was a failed idea that I had, and if I had to move it further out, then it would complicate things even worse. So I'm just going to find a better option.
All right, so is maintaining the same weight easier for you to do than Devin? And can you always look massive and you don't lose weight too often? He's got to work to lose weight.
Listen, my body wants to be bigger. I'm a genetic hay hauling fat boy. That's what my Arkansas genetics gave me. So when I'm fit, I'm eating perfect. When I'm not fit, meaning more this size, strongman looking, whatever, I have more freedom with my nutrition. Although right now, I'm basically eating the same stuff I was eating when I was shredded at 243 last year or 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Don't you see it? Like I'm eating the same shit. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why I'm so damn big.
It's literally crazy because I'm not feeding him any different when he is cutting. You know,
I was eating those late night meals.
Yeah,
and then
we stopped those.
Yeah, we just cut the carbs after like my 6 o'clock meal or something like
Yeah.
that. But it's very weird that I'm this size right now.
Okay.
I mean, because I haven't started peaking for this thing yet. I mean, I'm just over 8 weeks out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still another couple weeks probably before I really start pushing, you know.
Okay, and you guys saw East versus West 14 here in North America. The North Americans clearly did much better. And so what we've always said is that the travel makes a difference. So this one we're doing differently.
Yeah.
Instead of flying in on Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to get there on Sunday to give Michael more time to
We get to
adjust.
Europe on Sunday.
Yes.
We won't get to Istanbul till
Tuesday.
Which is still a day or two earlier than normal.
2 days earlier than normal, yeah. So I think that's going to have to be better. Now, I don't want to make myself look stupid. Like I really care if somebody tells me I'm dumb for not understanding weight stuff. But here, Co1 Years says 2 cable machines is always a net loss. You could fudge it for the TikTok lift. All right, so here's my question. 2 cable machines, if we're talking, I understand that. If you got 2 cables going to the same weight stack.
Yeah, but if you have them,
But we're talking about using 2 separate weight stacks. So how could that be a net loss?
I don't know. But I'm just telling you, I did it and it was easier. I hooked a chain to this one, hooked another chain from here to here, and went to pull it, and it was easier to pull 2 than it was to just pull the single cable. So I don't know what happened.
2 weight stacks?
What did I just say?
I
A
don't
chain between 2 weight stacks. I took both pulleys, hooked a chain to both carabiner, connected them tight, hooked a center chain, and pulled it, and it was easier to lift than if I just pulled one. So I don't know how that happened, but that's what Corey
Those
and I did.
physics are not making sense to
Well,
me.
you can go try it because it worked. I mean, it was shit. It was a
Okay.
shit idea that I came up with. So,
Connolly family says, "What's up, guys? Let's go, Monster. You're watching the football game tonight."
so I haven't watched football in a very long time.
So pumped
we
football
were
is back.
watching a few times the Super Bowl just for the commercials and stuff, but I think we quit watching. I don't watch sports much. I like to participate. I'm not a big spectator. I'm a participator. You know, the one sport that I can watch is UFC. I love watching UFC, and we don't
We don't
even
watch that anymore.
and we don't watch it much anymore.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching the Olympics because I think the Olympics are amazing. But yeah,
It really depends on the type of 2 cable machines.
mute point. I'm not going to worry about it.
Donald Ray
Let's talk-
says.
let's
Donald
talk-
Ray says it's because they were pulling each other.
See, I thought that one stack, even though they're here, I think that was negating it. And then I pulled from the center for it. It was weird. It was just weird. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was going to be harder, and it would end up being easier. I don't know.
Lloyd, can we talk about this for just a second? And then we've been on an hour, and I've got to get off here because I've got to get out there to my garden before it gets dark. So, there's been a whole lot of drama. On social media. And I'm not going to name names specifically because I definitely have opinions. But my opinions, I keep to myself. If it's not going to do anybody any good for me to share them, right? People are talking a lot about what is keeping arm wrestling out of the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
The talk is, it's because it's so divisive, or is it because of the enhancements?
Well, I've always thought it's because we had no head in the United States. Everybody had the freedom to just go start any league they wanted. So the United States was keeping us out of the International Olympic Committee. That's what I've always heard.
So are you assuming then that what happens in the United States affects the rest of the world in sports?
IOC, you had to be a member of IOC. We never could become a member. It was unlikely that arm wrestling at that stage, because I'm talking 30 years ago, was going to be anything when the Americans couldn't be involved, right? It just wasn't the way. There was no way it was going to be a sport. We couldn't have unification. So I think it's unification. Enhancements nowadays, anyone who thinks all the athletes are competing in the Olympics are clean is naive.
They
Because they
clearly
didn't watch
see
Icarus.
Icarus.
They didn't see Icarus, right? I love arm wrestling and would love, as a child and a youth, early arm wrestler, late teens, early 20s, I thought that there'd be a sign one day, welcome to hometown of Olympic gold medalist and world arm wrestling champion, Michael Todd. That wasn't Marshall Todd back then. I thought that was going to happen because I thought we'd be in the Olympics. We never did. So, I mean, could arm wrestling become a sport in the Olympics one day? I think it's a greater chance that we'll follow, something along the lines of the UFC and be a, mainstream sport that way. But UFC tests as well. They follow WADA, right? So I don't know. I mean, you got the enhanced gains coming out, which bigger, stronger, faster. People want to see people, do more, lift more, be stronger. I don't know, man. There is no such thing as clean sports, in my opinion. And it's only cheating if you're competing in an event where you're supposed to be clean, right? Like you're saying, I'm clean, but you get tested and then you get popped, now you're cheating. If you're competing in an untested arena, you're just leveling the playing field, like, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. But for me personally, I've been on prescribed testosterone from a doctor for what, a decade?
No.
Okay.
2017-ish, 18.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
a while, right? And if you said, hey, you can't have a doctor, a therapeutic use exemption, then I'm not going to compete because it's a quality of life thing at this point. I'm 51 years old.
Now, you were off of it for like a year when you had COVID. Like off of everything.
Off everything, yeah.
Because of the clotting issues.
Yeah. And then that was, remember, yeah. So I won't choose to compete in a tested event unless I had a therapeutic use exemption, which just means your numbers fall within the average range, right? Because I don't want to be lethargic and tired and have low sex drive or whatever. I'm just, it just doesn't make sense to me.
And Apollo Zed, that's exactly what Michael was talking about. WAF is the best arm wrestling event, in my opinion. He says because it's clean. No, it's tested.
Yeah.
So only, and the testing is random among the top 3.
I think something.
Okay,
Like that.
so not everybody is tested going into competition. And the reason that people get popped is because there are plenty of people who choose to take a chance. So people are competing, and that is cheating. They are competing at a tested event, enhanced. And I guarantee you it's more than you think. And the reason I can say that with confidence is because I've been there for the conversations with people that say, hey, I'm going. Do you think that if I stop it on this date that I'll still test positive? Been there for those conversations. So I know
matter.
for a fact.
Who cares, right? I mean,
a lot of people
that's
care.
the world we live in every sport. Like, say what you want. I mean, everybody wants to get an advantage. Everybody wants to do whatever. Everybody wants. I mean, and I love the idea of maximizing human performance.
Yeah.
Gene therapy, stem cells, hormone replacement, anything. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's amazing to see what the human body's capable of.
Yeah.
Right.
But you will never know if someone is truly clean unless you're doing in and out of competition testing.
Randomly.
Randomly, which that is what the UFC does. UFC could, like, if Michael was in the UFC, he could get a call tomorrow and he doesn't even have a match scheduled. And they're going to say, hey, you need to come in and pee today. You've got 12 hours to show up and do it. That's the only way that you can guarantee your athletes are not using. Yeah. You cannot do it just by testing on competition day. You can't. Okay. That's my soapbox.
Soapbox.
But yes, I like WAF as well. Okay. I like
arm wrestling.
I like arm wrestling. And I like anything that is giving athletes a platform to better themselves.
Right.
Right? So Alcyon's at the highest level of professional sports, they have the money to pay doctors to have perfect cycles. And it's out of their systems, of course.
That's not this sport. Or not this athlete, I'm telling you.
Okay. And he said Connolly family is true. This is why you will not see out of competition testing, is that it's an insane amount of money it costs to have athletes tested. Yes. Is that true? Wait, is that true? Gennady is over a decade younger than you?
So he's 41? I don't know.
When Gennady was graduating high school, what level was Mike arm wrestling at during that point? So,
I don't know.
Anybody know how old he is exactly?
That meant he graduated in 2001.
Well, let's just say if he was 18 and you were 28, what level were you when you were 28?
U.S. national champion, but I hadn't won a world title yet or nothing.
Okay, if you want to find out what the human body is capable of, don't do drugs. Well, that is actually what my son.
That's funny.
What you said to my son.
Yeah, I tell everyone, do not enhance until you reach your genetic potential.
Right.
Everyone.
Right.
Like, you'll never see me, hey, take steroids.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, dude, fulfill your genetic potential before you even touch it. If you're not going to eat right, you're not going to train, don't touch it, period.
Right.
Like, if you're just doing it, it's so stupid. Like, there are high school students who are taking steroids to better themselves in high school sports.
And why?
Or arm wrestlers who want to win the county fair, whatever.
Why?
I mean, what are y'all doing, man? This is crazy. I mean, you haven't had kids yet. It just doesn't make sense to me. But, I mean, his point, what the human body is capable of. Okay, how about science in the human body? How's that? Is that a better way to do it? So, I mean, science is here for a reason. Increasing longevity, increasing human performance. All these things are interesting. I mean, I love the idea of how hard can someone go, or how hard, what can be done. I mean, you can find a way to put like gorilla DNA in me, I'd do that. I mean, like, it'd be, I don't know. It's crazy to me to think that every enhancement that's available that I know of, I'm not super knowledgeable in the area. All they really do is allow you to recover faster. Is that right? Is that pretty much the understanding? They allow you to recover faster so you can train again sooner. So an unenhanced person has longer to recover before they can train that hard again. Someone who is enhanced can recover much faster and train again. So does that mean my hyperbaric chamber is cheating because it allows me to recover faster? Is a cold plunge cheating because I can recover my muscles faster? I mean, it's just advancements, right? I don't know.
All right, so
My opinion.
since we opened this Pandora's box, I'm going to discuss something really quickly. Hyperbaric chamber, very minuscule chance that it actually does your body harm. I mean, clearly, if you unzip it before it's ready, things can go south quick, okay?
Yeah.
But chances are it's not going to do your body harm. So many of the things that young men and women are doing to their bodies, all for the hopes of performing better, recovering quicker, whatever, looking better. So many of those things actually have proven negative long-term effects. Shortened lifespans, inability to reproduce. That's a problem. That's a problem. And do you see at all in our future where parents can send their children into this sport and the sport actually be clean?
I don't think any sport's clean. I mean, I just
So you
said
don't
that-
think it's a possibility?
I don't think any sport is clean. I mean, I don't think any sport is clean. I don't think all sports have people who. I don't know. I don't even know how to answer the sports question. As long as there's something out there that you can take to be better or stronger or faster, people are going to try it. That's my opinion. What do you think?
I think it's human nature.
Yeah, I mean, just.
You know, human nature. Ryan Bellinger says, I agree, MT.
Oh yeah, I saw someone congratulate you against Coach Ray. Dude, that was an awesome performance. Happy to have you representing Team West. Very strong young man. Keep it up.
Who's Ryan Bull Bellinger?
Yeah. He's the one to swept Coach Ray 3-0 very impressively. Yeah, it was awesome.
Lloyd, are you kidding me? He says Mike's 100% right. All competition people will cheat, even playing video games. They even take PEDs.
Well, like something to improve your cognitive function or
Adderall.
your alertness. Yeah, would that be considered cheating?
I'm totally on Adderall, y'all. But Michael will be the first to tell you, I definitely have ADHD,
Listen,
and I need it.
If she doesn't take that shit, it's all messed up around here, bro.
You're gonna find
everything,
the mail and
something's in the
freezer.
refrigerator.
You know?
I mean, metal in the microwave. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, Tim Young, actually, it's not cheating. Like you said, when other competitors are, it's not cheating if it's untested arena. Once someone is doing PEDs and going into tested events, that is cheating. All right. Of course, sports are clean. That's why you can take it seriously. Of course, sports are clean. I just don't think you're getting it, dude. Nate, the real question is, was Bavoda clean for the bobsled?
I was so proud of him, though. Like,
But he wasn't.
I was so proud. It doesn't matter. I mean, the guy competed in arm wrestling.
Neither
at the
was
highest
anybody
level.
else on the Russian team.
Yeah, and then he won the world championships in the Olympics and bobsled, two completely different disciplines. One thing that, off topic, we'll end this thing here in just a minute. Who is your opinion, in your opinion, who is the greatest athlete of this generation?
Do you want to go male and female or just greatest athlete, period?
Greatest athlete.
Well, I know who mine is.
It's by a margin. Like, I don't even think it's close.
Far margin.
So, I don't know how many of you on here follow CrossFit. But let me just put this into perspective. People are like, Jordan's the greatest athlete, this is the greatest athlete, that guy's the greatest athlete. And they may be the greatest in their sport. I think pound for pound, gymnasts are the strongest athletes in the world. I don't think, I mean, a close second would have to be Ninja Warrior people, pound for pound strength, right? They can do all that weird shit. But here's what I got. Tia Claire Toomey took second her first year, second her next year, and then she won 6 consecutive fittest woman on earth titles. During that same time frame, she competed in the Summer Olympics in powerlifting, and then competed in the Winter Olympics in bobsled. This, after winning her 6, found out she was pregnant, was out for a year, came back,
Won again.
won again. 7-time fittest woman on earth. And during that same time frame, powerlifting Olympian, bobsled Olympian. That is the most diverse set of skills any athlete I've ever known has. So by a margin, she is my greatest athlete of this generation.
I agree.
I mean, this guy, 5-time Olympic champ wrestling. That's awesome. I mean, who's the dude that's got all the Olympics in swimming? Michael Phelps. Amazing. Amazing at swimming. This woman swims, runs, bikes, lifts. I mean, like, they don't even tell them what the events are going to be until they get to get the games. A lot of people don't take CrossFit serious, and I can understand that from, you know, just going to a box and seeing people trying to be healthy, which is great, and I love it. The fact that just the average person go in there and have the adapted training. But one of them said one time, one of the announcers, you don't realize how much of a badass you have to be
Just to suck.
to suck at the CrossFit Games, to
Just
finish
to
40th.
Yeah.
Because these are the fittest people on earth. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't know if y'all go check out Tia Claire Toomey.
Simone Biles, that Bob guy. Yeah.
My God,
You're
Simone Biles. We were
crazy.
just, I mean,
Okay, did y'all see her hubby? Her hubby post, my wife is the shit. Yes. And I told Mike, I was like, can you imagine being an NFL player and you're in the dressing room after game, before game? Don't you know he catches some crap because he can never be the man in his own home.
so
You know.
Megatron, Tom Brady's the greatest athlete of all time. No PEDs needed. He may be the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
I just cannot say one sport. If you're a
Definitely
one
the
sport
greatest quarterback,
yes,
yeah.
one sport athlete is the greatest athlete.
Well, let's talk
mean-
about CrossFit for just a minute. It's not even like one sport that you're talking about. You're talking about triathlons, weightlifting. I mean, there's so many things.
So
just
diverse. Yeah, I mean, it's
just in CrossFit.
yeah, it's crazy.
And then to add on to that, where does bobsledding fit in? You know?
I mean, you have to have strong legs and be explosive, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy. And that's why, like, I feel like the greatest athlete we've ever had in arm wrestling was Alexei Vovoda because of his accomplishments in 2 completely different sports.
Yeah.
The person who I bragged on the most in arm wrestling is Devin Laird
Devin Larry, yeah.
because of what he did when he was in the military. Like, he was in the military, and the story that I was told was he did a complete military Ironman, rucksack, whatever was on it. Then he goes, enters a tournament, right and left, wins overall, right and left. Then arm wrestles for like 3 hours afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, his ability to endure was insane. And I also heard that he did 1,000 push-ups with not ever getting out of a push-up rest position.
Is that the truth? Somebody asked Devin.
I mean,
Let us
I need
know,
to
is that
ask him
true?
because that's some craziest shit I've ever heard of. Like, that's just crazy stuff from a 6'6" guy, you know? And like, we talked to Jody the other day. She's like, he's not 6'5". He used to be 6'7". Now he's 6'6". Like, his dimensions and his length and,
I think if he
it's
would
crazy.
stand up straight.
yeah.
Okay, you guys, he used to be 6'7". So you guys quit saying he's 6'5". We've always known he was taller, right?
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and answer this.
Let me read this real
Go
quick.
ahead.
Todd and Oleg's love child. I freaking love this. I called it first Camille, then Gennady, and then Hermes. After that, the world championship. We shall see. We shall see where it goes. Okay, go ahead.
Nate Polidoro. M&T, what do you think are the super heavyweight U.S. right arm top 5 rankings right now?
Ow.
Would you pull Jerry or Dave? Wholeheartedly, I would accept a match with either one of those guys. Love them both.
Which you can't pull Jerry at King of the Table because he'll be pulling
Love
LeBron.
on. So, how do I answer that? Honestly,
You don't.
without okay.
You can't.
Well, I can tell you what I feel.
Well, you can say
what I
what
believe.
you think, but,
the question is,
everything
what do
has
you
to be
think? The
proven.
question is, what do you think?
Everything has to be proven, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna just not answer that.
So if you're talking about rankings are based on what has happened, not what we think would happen.
Well, what has happened is I have a winning record on Jerry, and I got a winning record on Dave. I'm
Yes.
the last one to beat. Last time I arm wrestled one of them, I won them both.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
a lot of shit has gone down since that
Yeah.
day.
But then you listen to Hermes say he thinks I'm stronger than I've ever been right now. That's just what Hermes' comment was.
Yeah.
I think I am stronger than I've ever been on arm wrestling specifics.
Yeah.
I have been stronger on fundamental lifts. I want to be stronger everywhere. That being said, Monday, I almost tore my left pec. So it was scary because
Y'all don't know that. Now you do.
yeah, it was
All
scary
right.
because I got very, very dehydrated on Sunday, whatever reason. Very, very dehydrated. Did not properly rehydrate Monday before I trained, and 135, 225, 315, 370 flew off me. This week was supposed to be 420 because I'm going up 5 pounds a week. Primarily because my body has lifted way heavier weights. The most recent time I did anything relatively heavy was a couple years ago. I think I got in the 445 range, something like that. 2016, I blew my right pec. Week before I'd done 470, 405 for 7. That day I did 480. I was going to do 405 for 8. Pec blew at 405 on the third rep. So as I come down with 420, and it's probably the smoothest because my arm is like everything's all jacked. Normally my right arm's lower. Smoothest I've ever came down probably since the injuries. And right when I get about an inch or two off my chest, I'm like, grab it. Because I felt a stretch that I had felt on the right pec right as it blew. I know if I put any force towards that bar, it was coming off. So got it off of me, you know.
And you feel good? Everything
Yeah,
feels fine?
yeah.
Like there was no bruising, everything
No.
feels fine. But my point
Scared
is
the hell
this.
out of me though, because if as much as I needed, go ahead and tell me what your point was.
My point was this. He got a warning, and he listened to that warning. You guys, a couple of years ago now, I tore my glute.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't heavy weight. It was basically what I weigh, deadlifting. That is not a lot of weight. And it was on the 5th rep. Coming up, I had no warning. Everything felt exactly the same as it had previously. I had deadlifted more.
Significantly more.
Bam. Felt like a horse kicked me in the ass.
Yeah.
And I was screwed for months. Well, a year
Yeah.
or more. Totally ended everything.
And like you said, normally
No warning.
I would have just the next day. So the next day I was gonna do shoulders, and since I'd missed deadlifts on Sunday, I was gonna go and do some deadlifts with Jeremy. 135, 225. We are gonna go up to 545 that day. And at 225, I didn't have any pain, but I thought to myself, why am I going to do over 500 pounds the day after I thought I tore my back? You know, that I almost tore. I mean, even though it's a different angle, I think I'm good. So I just went ahead and did the rest of the workout, shoulders, all my arm wrestling specific stuff. I've done some light stuff with the chest since then. I may do bench block next week, just so I don't have to come down as far. But what I am going to do is make sure I'm properly hydrated and warm up. Like I always warm up with lighter weight, 35, 220, whatever. But I'm talking about stretch with the bow staff.
And that was the day Devin put out the video, wasn't it? The thing?
Yeah.
Because Michael came in.
And I
he's
told him I was like almost tore my back today.
He said everything almost ended right now. I mean, a while ago. Everything was almost over. I was like, what do you mean? Everything was almost over. You know?
Yeah, I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
I have to train that though. Like this is my 100% belief. Devin had all the tools, fundamental arm wrestling tools. And I've said this in previous things. He just lacked the overall power in his body to do anything once he stopped the match. Once Levon committed his body, right? Because Devin cracked him here, boom. But once that mass came on him, there was not enough defense power-wise from Devin. So my belief is if I can get stronger than Devin, and I'll have to be stronger.
You have to be power.
But I have to be
power.
stronger than Devin on all the lifts because I don't have his leverage.
Right.
So his leverage is going to count for maybe 10%. So I'm going to have to be at least 10% stronger.
So what you don't
Devin on
have
all
in
the
leverage,
lifts.
you have to make up
I have to
for
make
in
up
power.
in power in the fundamentals.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I have to be close, in my opinion. I need to be 80% to 90% as strong as Levon on all the core movements. Now, his bench, I think, is high. I think his bench is mid.
He doesn't deadlift, though, does he?
No, so I'm already stronger than him on deadlifts.
Yeah.
Because then we tried to do farmer's walks and he couldn't pick them up and I could.
Right.
And that could be back issues, whatever.
He has back issues.
But he does have phenomenal pulling power, like on back, right? He has mid-fives bench at least. So, 80% of a mid-fives would be 55, 110, 440. So let's say he has a 600-pound bench. I need to be 480 or 540, right? I've only heaviest bench I've ever done in my life was 520. So if I can get in that 500-pound ballpark on bench, getting that 650 plus range on deadlift, get my cheek curls
Al
up.
Sim says he was repping 315. Numsky says it's like 580 something for his bench last video I saw.
Okay. I don't think I've seen a 580, but maybe so. Point being, I need to have a lot of fundamental power, just in core movement power, so that when I'm able to stop the match, I have all the things, you know.
You have all the things.
All the things. But that's what I can't not train this. Like the pec thing, I have to train it to get to the end goal, which is Levon. But I can't tear anything because it stops everything else. Right. So it's a tricky situation.
So you have to be sure that you are warming up, that you are working on mobility, that you are stretching. And so is this as important as this?
I said I have to be 80 to 90% as strong as what he does. So he does bench. Now, I do, pec deck is very important for shoulder press or for side pressure, for transitioning from here into a pec deck, right? I mean, into a shoulder press. But yeah, I mean, bench is important. People say it's not important, but when you're talking about elite world-class level, you have to be strong. You have to be strong. I think there's a point of diminishing returns on those core movements. Like if Levon benches 620 instead of 580, what percentage is really going to translate? Even Devin was talking about that today. Once you know how to arm wrestle, all strength matters. All increases in strength. Like if you know how to arm wrestle, if you get stronger anywhere, even if it's a 0.2% increase on the table, it doesn't matter. Like also being strong comes to a certain degree of confidence. When you can move big weight and be strong and be powerful, and you know you're firing all cylinders. I will never state I'm the strongest I've ever been until I'm actually the strongest I've ever been on everything.
Okay.
To beat Levon, I have to be the strongest I've ever been on everything. Right? That's bench. That's
Okay, wait. Ever?
Yeah.
How are you going to do that? How are you?
Consistency. I mean, I've blown out my right pec. How am I going to bench more than when I had healthy pecs? You know,
Yeah.
Before I had an arm that wouldn't straighten. Before, you know, gotta find a way. That's what I think. I just think so. I just think I'm going to be capable. I never thought in my life I would ever say that I'd be able to bench over 500 again. But I think I'm going to bench over 500 again by the time the match happens. I just think I will. And I know that, but that's not the primary strength that matters. It's just the backup strength, right? I have to be able to stop the match. If you can't stop the match, it doesn't matter, right? So I have to stop the match through superior riser, pronation, back pressure, pronation gauge back pressure.
Side.
That's not how Devin stopped it. But yes, I'm going to need that too, because I need that moving forward to get to him. Like I need that center of the table control to get to him. Devin's center of the table control comes from here, right? All that stuff. I'm going to have this with all that, you know. I don't know.
Do you guys love that he's taken such a scientific approach? He is not just trying to become better at his one thing, which let's talk about that. This is all just planning on the idea that Jerry does not walk away with the victory. Which, if you do, Jerry, huge congratulations.
Oh, it'd be
Go
amazing
do it.
if he does it. Yeah,
Go
absolutely.
do it.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, and I am positive that he's working on his one silver bullet.
100%. Like it would be naive for him to try to change his whole style of arm wrestling within 3 months.
Because he's never been real versatile.
No.
But versatility in your game is going to matter.
My opening is going to be the same, just like Devin says.
Yeah.
Open and open top roll, like with pronation, heavy pronation, back pressure, all that stuff. Once I put the brakes on and I'm in the match, that's when my versatility shows.
Versatility is going to be important.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's why you got to be strong everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, and I mean, you have to be able. I'm just excited.
I love you, baby. I think Jerry has a chance, says Justin Cobble. Ron S. says, I love the humble. Devin's left arm. Just imagine the haters' reaction if Mike beats Levon. Okay, this is what's going to happen. If that should happen. They will still say something like, oh, Levon was paid for that. I mean, they're going to come up with something. It can never be that Mike was just prepared. It can't be that way. You know, that he did the game plan right. It can't be that. So they're always going to
It
be there.
doesn't matter. Like I said, that's not what we're trying to do here.
I know.
Yeah, guys. Like I said, all focus is on Gennady. All focus is on having this as my best prep ever. All focus is on this being a 10% stronger version than what I was when I pulled Camille. And moving on from there,
Phil wants to know, Gorilla is getting that training with Michael, he hopes, because Gorilla has something big coming.
He does have something very big coming.
Have they announced that yet?
Yeah.
Okay. If you guys don't know, are you going to talk about it, or are you just reading stuff?
I'm reading this about Christ.
Okay. Corey is arm wrestling Camille Jablonski, left-handed, if you didn't know, at the next King of the Table, which is what date?
September 28th. 3 weeks from Saturday, so we're 23 days out.
Chuck, Nasty Sports, thank you. Thank you. I do need reminding every now and then. And there are people on here saying Jerry has no chance. Jerry has a chance. Of course he has a chance. Anybody on an arm wrestling table on any given day has a chance. I believe that. Anything can happen on an arm wrestling table. And Proven Astrology, thank you so much for the super chat. WAF's double standards and bullying are a bigger threat to the sport than this pearl clutching about steroids. What can be done to get WAF to treat all athletes and promotions the same?
Thank you for your support.
Thank you, sir.
On that thing, I think there's multiple sides to what's going on. Just like Ingen has been answering a lot of the things on there. I just think it's when people are involved in, businesses and everything are involved, the athletes are not always put first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know who to blame, who to do anything. I just know it's our current situation, and instead of griping about it, someone try to fix it, or just, I don't know. It's a tough deal, but I don't know who the villain is. Honestly don't.
No, I know the villain is not Ingen.
Oh, of course
How
not.
people are coming up and saying that. You guys, please educate yourselves before just repeating crap that you hear from people that are not educated. Just do that. Because Ingen did not force anybody to sign contracts. People were raising their hands going, I want one of those. You know why? Because they had guaranteed money, guaranteed matches, and they weren't based on previous results. So if you're looking at this like a business mind, like Michael, okay, this brings money into our home. If you're looking at it like that, and every match you have to hope you get invited for a next one, or you're going to sign a contract where you're guaranteed matches. That's what you're going to do.
Right.
Because anything can happen at any point in time, and you have to take care of your family first. So, did not force anybody to sign contracts, and those contracts have nothing to do with WAF at all. Okay? The people that WAF has banned, or they're athletes, and they're saying these are the certain circumstances that you cannot compete under, athletes know it. They know it.
Well, once you sign a contract, we know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not something I care to discuss, because it's just, I'm focused on what I'm doing. I know it's part of arm wrestling. I know it's for that, and people want answers, but I don't have any. I just know that I'm truly blessed to have this opportunity. I'm blessed to have your support. I'm truly blessed to have people are coming to me, just like, Devin offering, me help in meeting Ryan and the different things that I'm not searching for. People are being introduced in my life to help me on this mission, on this goal, without me, going out and trying to find these individuals. So God is putting people in my life for a reason, and I think it is for this this mission to not take the credit, to not be prideful in this path, right? Just to do my job, which is to do the work. I always keep saying that, and then just let God work through me and bring people to Christ and see that, hey, nothing's impossible. All things are possible. But hey, appreciate you guys. I've got to eat. I still have to train. Thanks for checking everything out. If you're on Facebook, like, follow, whatever, YouTube, click the bell for notifications. What else are you supposed to do?
Be sure and share this feed on your social media platforms. Send them to friends. Text. Tell them to check it out. And if you're not a member, you might want to do so. We actually become one on YouTube, because that's where I'll be releasing some stuff that is not for the entire world.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, I'm enjoying the journey. I'm just happy right now. You know what I mean? Like, just to go from where I was after losing mom to be where I'm at now is another sign that God's real, right?
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, it's a journey.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're not at the ending point. There is still more to learn. There's still more to do.
Right.
And I'm just proud of you.
Thanks, babe. Love you.
Love you too. All right, guys. See you next time. See you soon. Thanks so much, Phil, and my other moderators for hanging out. Benji Mac. Love you guys a lot.
Take care, guys.
See y'all next week.